Okay, Salam Alaikum. Phoenix Ramadan and Jackson. This is video 2. And I knew where I was. I was with Inshallah, MashaAllah. And the reason why I wanted to really express that is because it's like, you know, the translation of the language kind of creates a barrier in understanding the spirituality and seeing that there's, you know, very great, that the two branches, you know, of spirituality are really, you know, relative. So, inshallah, as I said, means God willed. Mashallah means, inshallah means God willing. Mashallah means God willed. And Jannah is paradise. Okay? And Ummah is family. Okay? So, when and Jummah would be Friday, like the Jummah prayer. So when I use those words, or when I write out those words, I just want you to know the definition, okay? And that's where I was. Okay, what? And so, as I said, when I was talking about Ishmael and Isaac, Isaac being from Sarah, right? And Ishmael being from Hajar, the Egyptian wife, not contraband. No racism in spirituality, trying to make the black woman a slave, or the Egyptian woman, black woman, Kemetic woman a slave. Okay, because Abraham could not have had a child, fathered a child with Hajar, if it wouldn't have been in spiritual standing with Allah. Okay, Allah wouldn't have allowed that. That would have been fornication. Okay, and in Islam that's very horrific. Okay, so Hajar was his wife, okay, his second wife. Okay, so that's where I was. No racism in spirituality, okay? Trying to keep the black woman down, okay? They're always trying to keep the black power down because you're scared of it, okay? Ain't no need to be afraid, okay? You need to embrace that blackness of you. Okay, that black side, that spiritual black side, that's your strength, that's your power. Okay, so always trying to repress it. When you press something that's powerful so long, it only builds up pressure, right? And that creates what? A more powerful breakthrough. Okay, and that's where all that anticipation and that excitement comes through, right? Stop repressing your blackness. I'm talking about white people too. We all come from one black clay. Okay. So we're all black. We're all African. Our mama was black. Our daddy was black. Y'all know that. Okay. So let's not fake the funk. Okay. Anyway, Uranus and okay. So I just want to share the spiritual relativity of, you know, our beliefs, okay? Our beautiful, beautiful beliefs, okay? And remember, we're not just going to talk about Islam. We're not going to talk about Christian. We're not going to talk about Judaism. We're going to talk about the heart, okay? The heart of man, which is, okay, the body, okay? The body of man, which represents the body, okay? The below the belt, emotional intelligence, right? Okay, so we all have that. We can all connect with that, right? Okay, the heart of each other. Okay, so as I said, March 16th, okay, we should start seeing some breakthrough, okay, when that begins to separate those planets, when the huge planet of Uranus begins to separate from the heart and mind, separate the body and the mind, separate basically, okay, the emotional mind and the intellectual mind began to pull apart. So imagine if that's happening. Imagine what's happening inside oneself. If they feel like they're being pulled apart, they're emotional. It's just birth. It's just a new birth, okay? Because you should begin to see some manifestation when that begins to happen, okay? Yeah. Okay. So, and that should take place beginning what? Where you see the breakthrough around March 16th. And as we said, why should we feel this anticipation? Because Uranus is pulling away from the heart, the spiritual head, right? The spiritual head and the heart are pulling away. The emotional, or the spiritual energy and the emotional energy are both being impressed upon or stressed upon, okay? Okay. So we said that square will be ended, okay? Okay. Now, from the second, from the second, okay. Now, the second most important date would be March 20th, because not only do we have the as we said, the spring equinox, okay, the first day of spring, but a solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse. And I posted a video today about what Islam, some knowledge, insight on what, Islam, how Islam was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I'm going to post a video about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam too, because I think that the world, especially in America, the West, needs to become more familiar with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Regardless of your spiritual beliefs, it's always wise to be familiar with the spirituality of what your brother believes or what your sister believes. At least so you can communicate about it, have some shared knowledge. I mean, when you go to school, you go to college, you learn, even if you're going to be a doctor, you learn about, you have to take a physical education class, so to be diverse, to be able to function, consciously or intellectually among your peers, right? Your spiritual peers. Okay, so we said that will end. Okay, the second date, the second most important date, we got the March 20th, which would be the ending of the square of Pluto and Uranus, right? And that will be March 16th. And then what we got, March 17th, we got the beginning of Nisan, right? And that's when, and Venus goes into what? Taurus, and that's very important, but we won't talk about that right now. But anyway, the second date, the most important dates for me, it's from my perspective, is March 16th, March 20th, as we said, because of the spring equinox, because of the total solar eclipse, which also is basically like sealing putting the seal, okay? That's a seal, okay? That's sealing those events, okay? That's sealing this time, okay? That's marking the time, okay, commemorating the time, okay, of what happened, okay, the squaring of those 7 squares, and it made 7 squares. There were 7 squares, and I can't remember exactly when those squares started. I think like 4 years ago. That the squaring of Uranus and Pluto began, and if you notice, about 4 years, all of this turmoil started going on. This tribulation started going on. So we had that ending. So the things should start to slow out and start to level out, even in the universe. Even as far as in climate, it should be leveling out. The events that's going on with the weather should be leveling out. And I know we got the asteroid coming. I know we got, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we got that coming. I pray that it comes, and I'll teach you, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'll show you, I will read, what I wrote, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what I wrote about that. Well, I didn't write about it today, this time, but I did post videos of it. But I'll give you an idea as to why I'm very glad that, alhamdulillah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that this comet is coming, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, in September, okay, and that will be around the time of another, the autumnal, autumn equinox, okay, okay, but right now, as I said, the eclipse marks the seal, is a seal. Okay, and it marks the events it marks this time. Okay, it's like it marks a new beginning. Okay, like the separation of time, the old age from the new age. Okay, the age of Pisces. No, not the age of Pisces. Yeah, the age of Capricorn. Okay, that's why it was so harsh. It was a very turbulent time, because I mean, when you think about Capricorn, Capricorn is a door. Capricorn is a cardinal sign. So to move out of that cardinal sign, that's a lot of gravity in there. That's a lot of strength in that sign. Okay? So it's like closing that door. The eclipse is like sealing that door shut, closed. And we don't want to go back in that. We can't go back in that. Okay? That doesn't exist anymore. We're beyond that. Okay? We can't go back into that consciousness. We can't go back in that mindset. Okay, because when Pluto and Uranus pull apart, that's going to, that's when the falling away begins. Okay, the physical falling away of the old is like that snake that sheds its skin. It's going to come off, whether the snake likes it or not. There's nothing he can do about it. So that old consciousness is in that old commercial world is going to fall away. And those who are binded to it are going to be pulled away too. Separating the wheat from the tares, that's that time. Okay, dividing that time. Okay, so it's going to be sealed with the eclipse. Okay, and that's what takes place, as I said, March 20th. And then what happens soon after the new moon, bam, Aries, the sun is out of there. It's done. It's done in that age. Okay, it's into Aries. Okay, straight out of Pisces and into Aries. Okay, so it marks that time. The equinox marks the time, seals the door, seals the time's closed. Okay. No use looking backwards, like what's his name, Lot, when he left Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, at that time was Sodom. No, Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, we left Sodom and Gomorrah. No use looking back. Okay, no use looking back at the destruction. Okay, and if you might be tempted to look back, might be tempted to think back. Don't do it. Don't look back, don't think back, don't fall back. Okay? And what happened? It was told that the wife, I don't know, I'm not a Christian, but in Christianity, they say she turned to a pillar of salt, right? Okay. So you don't want to become a pillar of salt. Okay? That's what they said. She turned to a pillar of salt. You don't want to become a pillar of salt. Don't look back. Don't look back at the age of Capricorn. Okay? Leave that alone. It's been sealed with a total solar eclipse. Darkness. Can't look back and see darkness. Okay? Look to the light. Follow the sun. It's going into Aries. Right? Okay. Now, and a new beginning, a new moon. Okay? Even a new moon, a new beginning. Okay? Been cleansed in water, holy water, the waters of Pisces, right? Okay, okay, and soon, inshallah, will be delivered by whom? The Virgin, okay, which represents purity, and even Michael Jackson, the Virgin, as I said, with the Virgin consciousness of the 21st century, the Aquarian age of Aquarius, and we all know how virtuous he is. And again, in Islam, we don't refer to martyrs as having no life. Martyrs live, though we know it not. So I will always refer to him in the present. So we all know how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Michael Jackson is. Okay? How he lived, how his life. Okay? How productive he was. How productive his life. Okay? He conducted. I don't know. How productive. I won't do that. Okay, we all know what he contributed. What his contribution. Okay? We all know that. Okay? How he is. Okay? We know the virtue. We know the value. Regardless how that old commercial, how he was treated in the age of Capricorn. The racist, colonial, biased, one-sided, ignorant, dumbass age of Aquarius. Capricorn was. The dark age, okay? And we all know who kept us back, who was holding us back, okay? Those dirty damn Zionists, okay? Babylonian Zionists, okay? Now, okay, with a taste for ugliness and deceit, okay? But we won't go there because we're in a new age of positivity, okay? We still gonna talk about it, but after the 20th, no more, inshallah. No, after the 16th, no more. Okay, we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to think about it. We don't want to be about it. We just want to pray, 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 pray that we pull away from that gravity. Because as we said, there's going to be a pulling away. It's going to be trying to pull you back. You're going to be tempted. Oh my gosh, like Satan, and they're going to try to tempt you to come back. Because we leaving his ass behind. We leaving his ass behind. Okay, we're leaving Iblis behind. We're leaving Baal behind. We're leaving Nimrod, worshippers of Nimrod behind. We're leaving the Zionists behind. We're leaving racism behind. We're leaving misogyny behind. Okay? We're leaving it behind. Okay? And the spring equinox marks that. Okay? And then it's the first day of spring, right? Okay, yeah. Okay. Now, okay, and as I said, this simultaneously a new moon, right, and the equinox. Okay, the spring equinox began again, representing the first day of spring. So spring forth, right, forward. No looking back in the dark age. Okay, to that heinousness. Okay, so that's March 20th. Okay, and pray, pray, pray. Okay, and the new moon is going to take place in the watery crystal blue eyes or blue isles of Pisces. Okay, and then as I said, the sun quickly, in the blink of an eye, slips into the constellation of Aries, where we are to be born again, right, and to arise consciously born again. And spiritually born again, because now you have more insight to work with. Okay, mashallah. Okay, so and when the sun goes into Aries, what is to dry up all the rain, the pain. It's to dry up all the pain. To shine its guiding light, by shining its guiding light upon all, leading the world out of the dark age. Into the universal harmony, as MJ, has shown us, guided us to do through his music, mashallah, and living by an example. Okay, mashallah. So he truly needs to be recognized at this time. Okay, anybody who says otherwise, they're speaking from the dark age. They're speaking from behind the seal. They're whispering from behind the seal, whispering from behind the eclipse. Okay, because in the age of this new age, this Aquarian age, we'll know that's bullshit. Okay, I will definitely know it's bullshit. Okay, and bullshit is behind in the dark age, because that's where they worship the bull. They worship Baal, right? That's Baal shit. That's some Baal shit. We don't need no Baal shit in the age of Aquarius. Okay, you said what? The Aries is gonna, or the sun, when it gets to Aries, it's gonna lead us out of the dark age of Baal and into the harmony, universal harmony. So we can see that it is a great deal of energy that's out there. A lot of kinkiness, and kinkiness, what I mean by nappy, a lot of nappiness. A lot of napping up, right? Yeah, from being in that water. It made us all nappy. The nappy is when the energy, okay? Energy is, when the energy kinks up, okay? That's when you have those little waves. Well, the wave can, yeah, you have it's like W's, lots of little W's, but the energy is really, really close together. Okay, so we got a lot of kinkiness out there. That's what the hair, the black people's hair, or that's where we get the curly hair. I don't want to go black people, white people. That's dark age. That's where we get the kinky hair. Well, it's still this age too, because it's relevant, but it's not relevant to the degree where anybody should be oppressed, because we all are one. We all came from the same mama and the same daddy. Okay, we all came from the same head and the same body. Okay, the same head and the same heart. Okay, the spiritual head and the emotional head. We came from one body. Okay, but some Some look more like, some look, okay, or just appear to be different, but that's all it is, an illusion, because we all one. Okay, so, and some of us have curly hair and some of us do not, okay? Some are closer to the root, let's say, the root of man. Like me, I'm still at the root, okay? I'm close to the root. Some are at the top of the tree, some are at the root, okay? At the root of the tree. We're one tree. Okay, some are in the branches and all this kind of stuff, and the branches look good, different from other parts of the tree, but we still one tree. I just happen to be part of the root. Okay? Yeah, I'm part of the root. Okay. And I look a lot like my mama. Okay, so now, I mean, our differences can be recognized, but they still have to be appreciated. Okay? Honored, because they're all creations of Allah. Okay, now, so as we said, okay, so all that's going on around March, that energy's kinking up. We getting kinky, we feeling kinky. And y'all feeling kinky out there? Okay, and above the belts. You know, with the as we said, the anticipation and all that energy is making you kind of kinky. Okay, and making you kink up. It's making your head, making you go back to the root. It's taking you to the root, to the root cause, right? Okay, so okay, we're going to follow Aries into the light. Okay, so we can get, so we can, because there's a great deal of energy out there, there's a great deal of kinkiness, okay, going on in the universe. Okay, and I say plus, this will, oh my gosh, how could I, it's going to be a blood moon as well, okay? And I posted videos about what the blood moon is about, okay? But, so in all of this, okay, no, well, I'll talk about that in a minute, okay? And if humanity believes their synapse, okay, are not going to be affected, or you know, if they feel that their energy is not going to be affected by all that kinkiness out there, they need to think again. Okay, as I said, by all this universal kinkiness, they need to think again. Humanity will be affected. Okay, I mean, come on now. If we look at the weather, let's look at what happened. You know, with the squaring of Pluto and Uranus, you know, all of that, the weather events, those events that took place in the weather, you know, that happened to the weather, you know, all the storms and the eruptions of the volcanoes and all of that, because that was all as a result of that energy that was out there, that energy between Pluto and Uranus, you know, and the you know, the shifting, the global alignment, you know, the universal alignment, and the shifting of the energy, or the shifting of the time, the changing of the time, you know, going from what, the age of Capricorn to the age of Pisces, and the age of Aquarius, right? That's a lot. That's a lot of that, and which, yeah, that's a great deal, you know, a great deal. But, okay, but you know what? What you gotta know, oh my gosh, I just realized, mashallah. Okay, if you think that shift was big, going from the age of Aquarius to going from the age of Pisces, no, going from the age of Capricorn to the age of, the age of, Aquarius was tough. When we go from the age of Aquarius to the age of Pisces, oh my gosh, that's going to be real big. That's going to be really, really tough. You know, that's going to be tough too. Because that's a whole new ball game. That's a whole new ball game. You know, because then we'd be going from the age of what? Whatever, you know, element that is. Aquarius is, I think, it's the air element. air sign, to the water sign. We really got to be unified to make that shift. Because what? Water is made of gas, well, hydrogen and oxygen, right? Yeah, it's like fire and ice. You know? Fire and oxygen. Oxygen is a gas too. Well, we gotta have they're gonna, I don't know, let me go to a break so I can figure that one out. But that's a big one too. But we're not there yet, so we ain't got to worry about it. Our generation ain't got to worry about it. Okay, alhamdulillah. But it is so different. I don't even have to think about it, alhamdulillah. Think about where we are now. Okay, I'm going to take a break. Salam alaikum.